Hey, welcome to the Angel Channel once again on Monday evenings, our excursion into elevated energy. That sounds good, right? I hope everybody's doing good. It was been kind of an intense week for me. But as my teachers fond to say, everything is an opportunity to practice. So I've had a significant opportunity this week and done pretty well. Inga, what's up? How you doing? Glad to see you, girl. Inga's really been latching on and doing some of her own practice and making some pretty good progress. I just have to say kudos and keep up the good work. All right, so we're gonna have a pretty good show tonight. I think it's going to be kind of a reading heavy night tonight. And, before we get started, as always, just want to thank my friends at Fried Okra TV, Ernie Mosteller and his crew up there, man, do amazing corporate videos, advertising commercials, films, photography, pretty amazing, talented people. So friedokra.tv, go scope them out and give them a look and hire them. And thanks for the continued support and your belief in what we're doing, man. Really means a lot to me. Okay, the first thing to talk about this week would have to be one of the biggest astrological events of the year, and that's Pluto going into Aquarius, and it'll be there for the next 20 years. And we talked about this a good bit last week. I won't go into it at length, but just one of those planets that just makes you look at your shadow side, and it's kind of here to be a teacher, but the lessons kind of come in sometimes difficult ways. But its whole gig is about finding the things that trigger you and pushing those buttons. So the opportunity to practice in the midst of that is to just take a deep breath, remember your meditation, remember where you're going, remember your center, and actually face it head on and not try to dodge and sidestep. Good friend of mine told me I'm good at dodging, and I had to agree with her, man. I'm really good at dodging. But Pluto is a good time to come to resolution on all of those issues and see it as an opportunity to really make some positive change and growth. And it's not like the next 20 years are going to be awful and dreary. It really is an opportunity for the next 20 years to be really glorious and beautiful and fulfilling and evolutionary and all the good things that you want to bring to your life, right? Let's see. Yeah, Inga has a comment about it being more intense for my sign. Certainly, when things are actually in your sign, it always hits you more intensely. It's going to affect all the signs. It's a very potent, energetic connection, but it definitely is going to be a really great opportunity for me to practice a lot. So anyway, that happens tomorrow, and then we're on about our business and having some good time and some fun. Had some questions. And one of them concerns sigils, and sigils are something we've talked about on this podcast a lot. I use them. I'm using them right now, and I'm living witness to the fact that they work if you work them. So anyway, a couple people that I've been communicating with asked about a really good book for getting started with sigils. So I will offer this up. Practical Sigil Magic. Oh man, I'm mirrored. Yeah. Here, hold on. Let me see if I can unmirror that real quick. Settings. General.
AB, it's coming through correct on my screen. Like,
It is?
Yeah, I can read it fine.
Okay. Oh, by the way, my friend and erstwhile companion, Jacob Decker, is back after a 2-week love fest. So that's why he's smiling right now. It's really good to have him back, man, because as you guys know, I screwed it up. Okay. All right. So anyway, here's that book again. And it's really got some super simple, some really different and more unique. There's a lot of different methods. Sigils, I do the most simplistic one for the show just because there's not a lot of time to go into more complex things. But there's a lot of different methods of drawing the sigil to begin with, of what you use. There's like this thing called the cloud of potential that's pretty cool. It's like you start and get in that kind of pre-trance mode where you're in automatic writing mode, and you just make this crazy scribble on a piece of paper and then use little pieces out of that to represent stuff. It's a little complicated, but it's pretty cool. And if you have a long time to work on it, it's really a great method. A lot of the times it's not at the moment that what you charged and launched out that's when that happens. Actually, when the energy starts, when you start thinking about it, when you crystallize it in your mind, especially with sigils where you're crystallizing a sentence to summarize your desire. Yeah. It can get really easy to get lost and not have any idea where you're at, which is where I am, because I just lost my complete train of thought. Okay, I've got Alzheimer's tonight. Hey, Diane, how are you? I'm really glad you're here with us tonight, and I'd love to get you into some sigils. Now, I know we're highly into the whole meditation mode. Diane shares the Tibetan Bowl meditation with me every Friday, and it's a really wonderful experience. And I'd like to get you out into some more practical, like real world stuff, like making stuff happen. I had a really good thought. It'll come back to me. All right. So anyway, again, Practical Sigil Magic, super good. The other thing that we're going to talk about tonight is a book I've been through many, many times, and that is the Tibetan Book of the Dead. And the Tibetan Book of the Dead, I love these little sand painting things that they do. And I don't know if you've ever seen the monks that once a year do a huge, enormous sand painted mandala and then they sweep it away. Yeah, always made me cry when I saw that happen. Anyway, the Tibetan Book of the Dead is a description of what happens when you leave your body and what happens next and where you go. And it is a really as far as I can see, and from my own experience, a pretty accurate description of what goes on. And the first part of it, which we'll get into in just a second, really relates to understanding that you're a part of the source, that you're not just a thing outside the source, that you are the source, that you're light is a piece of the eternal light and the bright light and the light that emanates from everything. And that's going to be a really crucial thing and what we talk about right here. You know, this is probably the 10th or 11th time that I've read this book. And what's really curious is I usually leave a pretty good span of time, and I come back to it with new learning, lots of new learning, and new pieces of the puzzle fitting together, and new understanding of the things I thought I understood before on a really way deeper level. And when I read it again, it's like reading it for the very, very first time. And it kind of just reinforced where we've been going, and keeping that connection to the source alive and part of your life all the time. There's no reason to go in and out of it. And the more that you can live in that, the happier your life will be. There are challenges to that and things that come up and try to take you out of that all the time. But you just have to keep coming back to that center point, and the faith in the fact that you are part of the creation and part of the creator. And that true realization, when you really believe that from your core, keeps you afloat, keeps you in the light through the dark times, keeps you in the bliss and the good times, and pretty much just makes every breath that you take on this weird little frequency that we live in a lot better. Super, super cool. So I would invite you, just as kind of a challenge and as a kind of nudge. Hey, Nance, how are you, man? My cousin Nancy has been showing up like every week, and I did it to her again last week, man. I like boned her on the reading. So we'll put her first on the list tonight. And as always, you know, everybody that seems to be here right now knows this, but you know, put it, if you want a card, please please let me know and we'll pull one for you. I'm probably going to pull one for me tonight too. We'll see how that goes. Okay, so anyway, my challenge is just to find a book that you had read that was impactful to you, that you haven't read for a long time, and go back and check that thing out again. and see how it feels with more alerted eyes. All right. Okay, so all right, so the Tibetan Book of the Dead relates to, as it relates to the specific process of death and what happens after that, divides that process up into 3 sections called the Bardos. And each of those has different elements in it, and depending on how you react in each of those particular spaces determines kind of where you go on to other stuff. The first Bardo is called the Chai Bardo, and it is where the physical body actually dies. And that process is a multi-layered process of like when your brain shuts off and your cells shut off. So all through that process, your soul is detaching from your physicality and becoming just its light self. And it realizes that it's in a new place and this space, and it's there that the opportunity for liberation exists. And if you've been good with your meditative practices and you've gotten yourself to be able to release thoughts and get your mind to a centered space, you have the opportunity to recognize the spectral, the light, the light that is infusing all things in that space. And most of all of the physical things or the structured things that you'll see in all the Bardos are all constructions of the mind, and your own process and your own lessons and what you've learned and what you've applied and actualized into your awareness. And they're behind all the kind of illusions. And in the first Bardo, the illusions are not bad or scary or intense at all. They're usually very pleasant, but they're all illusions too. And the opportunity is to see through those illusions and to recognize the light, the primordial clear light. Yeah, it's okay. Here's a really good description. It's described as a dazzling, pure, immense light, not coming from a single source, but from everywhere. The clear light is an absolute manifestation of the mind, a state of pure, unconditional consciousness where there is no duality, fear, or attachment. Some people call it the higher self. So the soul finds itself with the opportunity to liberate itself from having to go on to other lessons just by recognizing that the light is themselves, that it's the soul, and that is a connection. And when that is truly developed and that is truth to the soul, then that's an opportunity just to go on to goodness, like the good place. Like the good place, like the really good place. And the way to ensure that you'll be able to recognize that is to do what we were just talking about a few minutes ago, and that's to make the light and make that awareness that you are the light part of every waking moment that you have, and make that a place that you go for your refuge and a place where you go for your love and your bliss and for things to be clear, and where the source of unconditional love, like the unconditional love, exists. All right, so we're not going to spend a great deal of time on the Bardos. I'll go over the the second Bardo is called the Shanyad Bardo, and that is where the soul perceives projections. Okay, so in the first Bardo, if the soul is able to perceive itself as the light, it ventures into the light and becomes part of that world and transcends having to return. If you stay stuck in the illusions and you fail to recognize the light and you fail to recognize that connection, then you move on to the second Bardo. And the second Bardo is where, like, any consciousness is freed from the physical body, and there are no more connections to that anymore. That whole process of you leaving has taken place. So now is where, they talk about sometimes, like, you're reviewing your life and like things like that. Different cultures present this differently. This is from Tibet, and that whole culture of their deities and that kind of thing. So, but regardless of that, each of us as the creator in our own universe has all of our thoughts and all of our programs and all of our constructs, which are absolutely unique to each of us. And those create projections in that state that some of them are pleasant, some of them are really super intense. Okay, here we go. In this Bardo, the soul perceives projections of its own construction. These can be perceived as angels or demons. This is where everything that has been feared or repressed comes flying to the surface in a really intensified form. It reflects the karma accumulated by the soul over not just this lifetime, but all their lifetimes. And they manifest in two distinct forms: the peaceful visions and the wrathful visions. The peaceful visions are elevated beings, light beings, entities full of love and desire for evolution and goodness. And those are really manifestations of our own mental constructs that we put together to form our cosmology while we were alive. And the wrathful deities are the things caused by fear and subconscious and all the things that root around in there. That's why I'm such a freak about like doing my shadow work, like the whole red book thing that we talked about. And I go on that journey really, really frequently because it has so many deep levels. And the more that you can resolve that, and the more that you can accept and assimilate that, then you don't have to like deal with any of that there. And the wrathful deities are really scary. You know, it's all those crazy, like weird monster looking things. And, you know, they're the manifestations of the monsters in our own mind. And they don't, you know, none of this is anything I can give you concrete proof on, but it's my belief that probably they look different to every single person based on their nature and their fears and those dark places that didn't get addressed and resolved. So another really great reason to make sure that you dive into the shadow work and don't shy away from that, right? Okay, and then we're not going to go into this very much at all because I'm running too long. The last one is the Sidba Bardo, and that's where you've gone through all of the personal mind fucks, and you come to this space where now you want to reincarnate. And this is the Bardo that describes the process of that happening. If you're interested, you know, I'll maybe do a follow-up next week. Let me know. But it's the place where you're choosing who to connect with as your parents and what you want to accomplish here. And a lot of it is determined by your previous karma from many, 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 many lifetimes. Man, that has been a bear for me to address. And I've done a pretty decent job this time around. I think better than my last few times around. But man, it's always a work of progress working on that. So anyway, so that's a little tidbit on the Bardos. Just please remember to stay connected to your light all the time and to realize that you are the light, man. Sometimes you have to remind yourself as many times as you need to. You know, I've been doing that a whole lot. All right. So let's create some sacred space and do a little breathing and some readings. All right, everybody get comfortable. I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space and make this place pure. With the bright, brilliant light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Wow. I'm going to do one more. With the light of the source, I banish and clean this space. I make this place pure. Obviously, this space needed it, yeah. Come together tonight to create our circle, to blend our energy in a sacred space of safety and love. We ask that the angels be with us this evening, share their wisdom, their truth. We ask that we have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the wisdom to understand. And with unconditional love, absolute gratitude for all of it. We send our wish for bliss to the source and open our circle. Alrighty. We're going to do a little blank space breathing. And then we're going to do some chakra breathing tonight. I think it'll be really very good. All right. So we're going to do our 3 breaths, and we're going to take our time with these. And with each of these breaths, I want you to turn yourself off like your body is a machine that is just, the dimmer switch is, and we're going to inhale really deeply and exhale super slowly. And as you're exhaling, I want you to like shut your body off, like your muscles, let your muscles go, let your mind go, let your thoughts go. Just focus on sinking down and following your breath until you run out. And then without moving, without thinking, without taking another breath, just stay in that stillness for 5-10 seconds more if you can stay there. And this is a really, really good exercise for being able to do that space at will and to be able to kind of be able to breathe. Like it's good to expose you to how that space feels. What does blank space actually feel like? And that cuts a groove in your aura and gives you a pathway to find that space again. So as you practice and you can stay there longer, and you'll notice as you hold your breath, you can, every time you'll be able to hold your breath longer. So as you get really, that gets really easy and you can start to stay there, you can start to take really shallow breaths, and using a second chakra or your solar plexus to draw those breaths so that they're really shallow. You can stay in blank space for a long time. I try to stay there as much as I can. I love that space beyond words. Okay. So one of the other things I was doing with a couple people this week was um, kind of using a tone in my own mind, or even making that tone with my voice, and starting so that like the tone is just decreasing, and it's following with your breath. So it's just like, and you just keep going deeper in the tone and deeper, and until your breath runs out and then the tone stops. I don't know if that'll help. It seemed to help the folks I was working with this week, so I'd throw that out as something to throw into the practice field and see what you come up with. Okay, all right. You know, I would encourage you to be sitting somewhere where you can let go of your muscles altogether. So you're in a really relaxed, comfortable chair, or leaning back on the couch, or laying on the floor, but somewhere where you could just let go altogether. All right. All right. So here we go. Inhale in through your nose. Use your solar plexus to draw. Fill yourself up. Fill yourself to the brim. Pack it in. And exhale slowly. You're shutting off. Your muscles are relaxing and just hanging. Your thoughts are going, following the point down deeper. Silence. All right, let's inhale in through the nose. Really deep. Pack it in. Exhale. Systems are shutting down. Follow the dot. Your muscles are relaxed. Nothing's holding you up. Sinking deeper, deeper. Running out of breath. Still. All right, one more. Inhale. Pack it in really deep. Exhale. All systems shut down. Sinking deeper. It's quiet. Deeper. And still. All right, we're going to do a little chakra breathing now. So When we're on each of the chakras, like we're going to start with the root chakra, which is in your groin at the base of your spine. Instead of pulling with your lungs, I mean, you'll use your lungs to some degree, but really focus on that area and draw from your first chakra. And we're going to go up your chakras and use each of those to breathe and add energy to each of those. And that at the end of those, we'll do a nice little alignment. So we'll be nice and sparkly clean and all chakra aligned at the end of this, okay? All right. Get comfortable. And I want you to begin breathing in through your first chakra. You're drawing in beautiful scarlet red light. Each intake of breath, each inhale, you're drawing in light, drawing in red energy. It's the energy that grounds you to the real world, to the material sphere. Keep drawing. I'm going to do 2 more breaths. There you go. 1 more. Your first chakra should be nice and glowy, nice and bright. All right, I want you to push that energy up to your second chakra, your sacral chakra, which is in between your groin and your belly button. And we're going to take our focus and our attention point to that chakra, and we're going to use that chakra to draw in energy. All right, here we go. Bright, bright orange, just super brilliant, fresh. There you go. Draw. This energy is your pleasure center, where you feel the things of the world, where your animal lives, where you feel bliss and pleasure. Draw 1 more. All right. Now I want you to take your attention and I want you to move that energy up to your solar plexus. All right, we're in the powerhouse now. And we've been practicing using this chakra a lot for breathing. So take beautiful golden yellow energy into your power source. Inhale. Draw with your solar plexus. Inhale. Two more. Inhale. One more. Ah, nice. Oof. So the chakras below your solar plexus relate to the world. Your solar plexus and the chakras up to your crown relate to your astral and your energetic connections, and your last chakra, your crown chakra, is your connection to the divine, to the upper regions. All right, let's take that beautiful gold chakra, solar plexus chakra energy, and let's move it up to your heart. And let this beautiful, soothing green, beautiful green, healing green, use your heart to pull that energy into. Purify your emotions. Be able to express your feelings. Where you feel unconditional love. And unconditional love starts with unconditional love for you. And when you love the source. And then it all circles back. All right, we're going to move that heart energy up to our throat. And that's the place where you can speak your mind, speak your truth, where you express your desires and the way that you see in the world and process it, and the way you communicate that to other souls here. So we're going to use our throat chakra and draw this bright, brilliant blue. Source to speak our truth. One more, inhale. All right, moving up now to our third eye, right in the middle of our forehead. Our connection to our intuition, all of our receptive abilities, our connection to others on the astral. Draw this beautiful, deep, purplish indigo. Like a stream right into your third eye. Yeah. Wow, I'm just seeing all kinds of crazy stuff right now. All right, come back, B. All right. Whew. We're going to move that up from our third eye up to our crown. And that's our connection to the divine. And it's beautiful violet light. It's a place where Reiki masters draw the violet energy. All right, so with the top of your head, pull that energy down through all of your chakras. Get a good batch, healing, rejuvenative, peaceful, calm. warm. Mm. All right, one more. There we go. Oh, you guys did good. Okay, now we're going to do one more step. We're going to do a little alignment. So just like we've been working with our solar plexus and taking our attention there, gathering all of our energy on our solar plexus, what we're going to do now is take all of that energy and we're going to gather it in our first chakra. Let's take a moment to do that. Get focused. Push all your energy to your first chakra. Just load it up. All right. It's going to sound a little crazy, but what I want you to imagine is that first chakra is like a rubber band. Like, do you have a rubber band on it? And you're pulling it, pulling it, pulling it, pulling it, pulling it. And you release that, all of that energy. Like, and as you're pulling it, that energy gets bigger and more and more. And when you release it, it explodes and travels straight up your chakra system and explodes out your crown chakra. It's a nice little alignment technique that I've been really enjoying a lot. So we're going to go there right now. This is also what you need to use is some sort of explosive metaphor, right? So that you can really gather that energy. You know, if you have a favorite, this is like where an EDM song would come in handy really good, so that you get to the little break and it's all tinky, tinky, tinky. And then all of a sudden it's, ooh, boom, la. Okay. So you want to have that release of that boom right after you've like charged it with as much potential as you can. All right, let's go. Inhale. Charge it up. Build it up. Build it up. Wind the spring. Get it ready to explode. All right, on the count of 3, let it loose. Get it nice and good. 1, 2, 3. Let it just spew out the top of your head. Open that channel. All right. There we go. All right, so it's about time to take a look at that card. The card of the week. Oh, man. Yeah, this is a multi-layered angel. Angel ASALIAH, the angel of contemplation. Yeah. You know, it's associated with the 7 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups is about like looking at all these options and trying to decide on a direction. Yeah. All right. The farther you stretch past your comfort zone, the louder the fear voices become. Where fear exists, there is also the opportunity for growth. So don't be timid. Move on. Use your fear like rocket fuel to propel you forward. You create your visions of the future on the astral, but for them to become reality, they must be given substance. Without tangible energy, they will remain only daydreams. Rise above your situation. This is so Pluto. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Be realistic now. Use common sense to map out a plan. Visualize the possibilities and see clearly in your mind the good things that have already happened, and be grateful. With your skills and abilities so well developed, it is time to decide where and how to use them. Allow your mind to explore the potential. Here is a taking stock, a look at the material interface, a harvesting at the emotional level, and then a reinvestment in the emotional future. Yeah. So here we go, sailing into Pluto. All right, Nancy, you are up, girlfriend. All right, so concentrate, get really nice and quiet. Stay in that meditative zone. And close your eyes and just imagine we're looking at each other face to face and we're looking eye to eye. And if you have a specific question, beam that to me really hard. Words of wisdom for my cousin Nancy. Words of wisdom for my cousin Nancy. Words of wisdom for my cousin Nancy. Hey, Jacob, could you pull this one up for me? This is angel number 54, the angel of rejuvenation and eternal youth. Time for a progress check. Are you still on course? When you fulfill personal obligations and agreements, you develop the maturity essential to all social relationships, your faith in yourself and your ability to succeed. You keep increasing your burdens. There are so many that they weigh heavy and they threaten to crush you physically and emotionally. You limit yourself by giving your power to others. It is crucial that you release yourself. Remove yourself from oppressive situations in your life where you feel you're holding yourself back and unable to fully express all of who you are. Throw down your burdens and the others people have placed on you and try a new direction. Put your energy to work for you. Continue to grow and don't give up. The risk is always worth it. There you go, kiddo. You know, you really have come so far. I'm super proud of you. All right. Anybody else out there looking for a reading? Perhaps not. All right. I'm going to read one for me. I guess this would probably be a collective card. Yeah. All right. I hear you. You don't have to shout. Words of wisdom for our circle. Words of wisdom for our circle. Words of wisdom for our circle. All right, number 10, the angel of divine grace. A little fairy in there, man. Face it. Oh my God, dude. Like the very first line just smacks me, okay? Face it, the situation is bad. Accept your feelings. It's an unfair, unequal situation, and insecure emotions bloom when you feel underappreciated and underrecognized for your contribution and hard work. Feelings of insecurity produce resentment and dissatisfaction as you perceive and accept the truth of the inequity, and your prosperity is suffering. Any relationship is built on an agreement between those who have and those who don't. Doling out attention, promises, sexual favors, or finances can be a manipulative means to keep people bound to you. Learn to gift with no strings, no conditions. That's a really great lesson. According to your ability and to receive your gifts, then you will be on solid ground in your relationships. When success is measured in terms of what you give, everyone shares it. If success is measured in terms of what you get, you will always be chained to the need for more. So stop being defensive. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. All right, Whitney, it looks like you're looking for a reading. Here we go. Focus hard, Whitney. Yeah, I need to reach out. Here we go. Keep your focus. Words of wisdom for my friend Whitney. Words of wisdom for my friend Whitney. Words of wisdom for my friend Whitney. Number 18, the angel of justice. It's a little stern. Pretty good angel, though. Analyze your situation from every single angle. Stop denying reality, seeing only what you want to see. You're afraid it's all going to come crashing down around you. Push your boundaries in your quest for knowledge. Stretch yourself. Expect new and positive vibrations. A karmic lesson has been fulfilled, and you could expect steady improvement. You are suffering from the aftermath of deep personal hurt. Go deep inside and find your inner guidance. Get quiet and listen. Let go and rest in the presence of your inner strength. You are never, ever, ever, ever alone. There is always guidance and protection available to you. Ask. Yeah, that one just felt like a bullet for you. Perhaps I'm wrong. It's happened. Okay, well, it looks like... Oh, Rick, man, good to see you. Glad you enjoyed the meditation, man. All right, so we are going to shut it down until next week, and I wish everybody an amazing, amazing week, and may the light shine on you all the time. And especially when the shadow wants to raise its head, just keep turning back to face the light. Just keep turning back to face the light. You're never alone. So, yeah, hit that like, subscribe, hit a share if you think somebody would love a reading or would benefit from what we've been talking about. And yeah, leave a comment down below if you get a chance. All right, until next week, here we go. So we close our circle for the evening. Oh, yeah. You guys are so loud tonight. It's time to go home. We close our circle for the evening. We thank everyone that showed up to share their joy and their wisdom and their truth. And we bid everyone to go back to their homes in safety and love. We send our absolute heartfelt gratitude for every single bit of it. Our deep, infinite, unconditional love. And my personal wish for bliss to the source. Until next week, be in the light.